Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Dazbones TV. This is my first official video. As you can see, it's a very low budget right now. I'm in my car, and shoot, the other freaking inside light doesn't even come on to give me proper lighting. So anyway, on this channel I hope to tackle a bunch of different, every topic. Honestly, I'm an eclectic I'm an eclectic guy. So, there's going to be everything from video games, movies, comic books, martial arts, sports in general, news, politics, like a little bit of that. I don't really want to do too much politics. But, fitness vlog, everything, because I'm trying to lose weight. Right now, I'm a 6'3", 350-pound man. I actually want to compete professionally in MMA. And to do that, I'm about almost a full 100 pounds overweight. So that journey as well is what I hope to document on this channel. Anyway, about a minute in of introduction. The topic of this video, I'm choosing as my first video because it's news that came out that is near and dear to my heart. And it's news about, one of my favorite topics is it's a combination of martial arts, movies, and video games. And that's the announcement of the reboot of the Mortal Kombat film franchise. Now, that's a little bit far, it's like calling it a film franchise because this is the only first movie. But I just got to say, I'm stoked. I am so excited to watch, view, hear things about pre-production, post-production, casting. Who didn't, as a kid in the 90s, love Mortal Kombat? And like at least one of the Mortal Kombat movies as a guilty pleasure. I know I did. I even remember, I think I was either 7 or 8 years old. For my birthday, my mom brought me to watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So that's how deep it is for me. And again, that movie is garbage, gutter trash, boo-boo, but at the end of the day, it still holds a place, for me anyway. And the people behind the movie, other than the directors and the writer, the director, he's an Australian director who has a few commercials under his belt. Other than that, there's basically no information on the writer. Is pretty much the same as an aspiring writer and author. I could care less about that because at the end of the day, that you might have quality stuff that people just have never heard, right? Like most of some of the greatest works people never heard of until, they've heard of it. So this writer and this director, even though they've never had anything under their belt, at the end of the day, they might be fucking hidden gems. And, you would know. So that I'm not worried about. It's the other people that I'm excited about. Namely, the fact that Ed Boon is going to be very closely tied to this. And the fact that James Wan, one of my favorite directors, one of my favorite people, honestly, in the movie industry right now, is going to be one of the executive producers on it. So that gives me a ton of hope, and, hype as to this franchise being treated well. And hopefully, because honestly, I'm looking around because I'm in a car and stuff, but hopefully this movie, it'll have a little bit of him in there. Obviously, whatever the kind of flair the director likes, there'll be a flair of that. There'll also be, because it's filmed in South Australia, and if you watch Aquaman, which James Wan did for the most part in Australia, there was definitely a flavor of that in there, which will happen anywhere you shoot. If you shoot in Prague, if you shoot in Switzerland, if you shoot in Russia, even if you keep the fact that that's where you're at ambiguous, even if you say that you're in the middle of East Bumblewatt, the fact that you're in Russia filming, it'll seep in there somewhere, right? There'll be a little tint of it. So the fact that they're shooting in Australia is important because not only is there a great base of talent in Australia. I mean, you can list off, like, if you list the top 30 actors in the movie business, at least 10 of them are Australian. So not only do they have a really good talent base, but also, I mean, just from a physicality point, in a movie that's going to need a lot of physicality, and that's, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but just from a physicality point, Polynesians, Australians, Aboriginal peeps, like, there's going to be a lot of that needed and a lot of that flavor that should be added in, you know, along with all the beautiful golden hair and surfer vibe that, you know, South Australia, I'm sure, has. But I'm sure there's going to be New Zealanders, Malaysians, a lot, because there's tons of East Asians in Australia, South Australia to be exact too. So I mean, I think James Wan even hails from Australia, if I'm not mistaken. So that being said, there, I no casting news has come out really, but I have done my own little fan cast, which I'll lay out now. And since this news came out about 2 days ago, I'm a little late. I tried to shoot a video yesterday, but that got the old kibosh. Since the news came out, I've seen all these really wild, outlandish, honestly, very unrealistic casting, hopes by all these different people. I mean, I'll just use one, the main one that is like very ridiculous. And that's Chris Pratt as Johnny Cage. Let that sink in. Chris Pratt. One of the hottest actors in Hollywood, playing Johnny Cage in a highly risky Mortal Kombat reboot. Right. Anyway, anyway, I'll go with mine. These everyone I list off should be in a Mortal Kombat movie, right? Like they're going to be more action oriented performers who come from an action stunt background, right? Who also happen to be actors. Because at the end of the day, Mortal Kombat isn't a drama. It's it's a movie about martial arts, right? So anyway, let me get into the casting choices and I'll talk more about all the other stuff as I go. So the synopsis, the synopsis for the movie that's been put out, I mean, it's the most basic thing you could ever, see in your life. The synopsis is that the story will follow a young martial artist that is unexpectedly thrust into an international interdimensional martial arts tournament, and through the struggles and trials and tribulations of said tournament, realizes his own character and power within. Right, so if you go just by that basic premise, there goes that. Even if you go by that basic premise, you'll see that most likely is a hint towards Liu Kang. And for Liu Kang, I would honestly say I would pick one of two people, right? Who are both young, pretty good actors, both have a physical nature about them. Because at the end of the day, you don't want the Iron Fist problem, right? God bless Iron Fist. Where you get a fairly good actor. I mean, not even a great actor. You get a fairly good actor that has no action experience in a lead role that needs action experience, right? I mean, it sounds self-explanatory, but somehow they mucked that up. But anyway, Harry Shum Jr. You know him from the originals. He's an Asian actor that he's toured with Beyonce. So he's a guy who has physicality from a dancing background, martial arts background, and I mean pretty much everything else in between.